Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is our pleasure being here, knowing that you are out there. This is another edition of Viewpoint. In today's edition of the Viewpoint, we are going to look at issues affecting us as Cameroonians in general, and particularly the northwest region of Cameroon. In today's edition, we have a new guest with us who will be discussing these issues. Let's welcome Mr. Ndiwum Emmanuel. He's a society activist. Good evening, sir, and thank you for being there for us.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Venatius, and it's a pleasure for being on your platform today. And a hearty greetings to all the million viewers of this prestigious television. Thank you so much.
The pleasure is ours to having you, and we believe that you would be there for us. Mr. Ndiwum is being accompanied by Mr. Fundu Ignatius. It's not the first time that you're having him. Good evening, sir, and thank you for being there.
Good evening, Mr. Venatius. I wish to send greetings to the televiewers of DBS television, and I would like us to understand that it is our duty to discuss issues that concerns our country. Exactly. Because the government also learn from the media through people like you.
Exactly.
Once more.
And you too, because it is through that we we use opportunities like this to explain or express what is happening, because the government cannot be everywhere in the whole country.
Exactly.
And the government is you and I. The government is all of us.
For sure.
Let us move straight to part one of the program. We take the yes or no answer session, and I begin with you, Mr. Ndiwum. Bamenda Babaju stretch of road, a fruit of negligence, yes or no?
If the yes is pronounced in a lighter manner,
yes,
then it lightens the manner and the suffering in which the people are going through. So therefore, it's a mighty yes.
Yes, a fruit of negligence. Mr. Fundu?
I say yes.
He says, yes, it is a fruit of negligence. Now, we'll remain with you, Mr. Fundu. We'll take the second question. Does that have any impact on the ongoing crisis in the northwest and southwest region?
Yes, yes.
It has an impact. And Mr. Ndiwum?
Indeed, yes.
Yes, it has an impact. Let us take part two of the program to hear them out. If you are just joining us, you're watching Viewpoint, and we are equally broadcasting on our Facebook page. The citizens of Bamenda and the northwest region in general, and Cameroonians in general actually, have been going through untold suffering, communing between the northwest region and the west region over the stretch of road, a stretch of road that is about 52 kilometers, and that has been a source, or like a saw to these people to move from the west region to the northwest region and vice versa. This is particularly at the stretch between Bamenda and Babaju, where the road has been degrading for the past 2 to 3 years. And in today's edition of the program, we are asking the question, is this situation that these people are going through a fruit of negligence on that stretch of the road? We'll begin with you, Mr. Ndiwum. You think that, yes, it is a fruit of negligence?
For sure. You know, many people might be getting us only over the television and have not had the opportunity lately to go over this road.
Okay.
But I've had the bitter experience to have traveled there 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
For those who know me very well. And of course, you discover that what people go through. You see, I want to briefly look at it this way. Remember, some people are struggling to defend the government, the regime in place, saying that it is the Amber Boys that have
destroyed that stretch of the road,
stopped work, or that have been hampering the progress of that rehabilitation.
Yes.
Why do we even call it in the first place rehabilitation? It means that something was formerly there like a road, and later on
it degraded, and now they want to rehabilitate it.
And I want to draw the attention of our televiewers to the fact that the money to this route, Bamenda Babaju, was voted in 2015 officially.
Okay.
And the amber, in quote, the so-called amber, only came into force
from
in
2017 onward, yes.
So for those of you who keep defending that it is amber, no, it is not amber. You know, we are in a country where those who know nothing are put to do almost everything.
Of course.
And because they are put to do almost everything, you see that almost everything is going the wrong way. Bamenda Babaju is a nightmare. And this, to some people, is giving a backing to the so-called amber people who say we have been neglected for so long. This is a feasible truth. This is a practical reality on the ground that everybody is touching it. Men in uniform, they are aware.
In fact, everybody is suffering.
Everybody is aware.
Yes.
They suffer, all of them. So you see that, like I've often said elsewhere, amber could be evil, but the mother of the amber evil is the government in place. Amber is a product of the regime in Yaoundé. They are the ones who have successfully produced terrorists in this country. So if we have terrorists today, that every failure is being tacked to them. Now I ask you this question before I give you back the microphone. When Mr. Biya made the announcement of a ring road in Bamenda in 1985, until date, no stone has been started there, the foundation stone. Is it amber that stopped Mr. Biya?
Okay. Mr. Ndiwum, I remain with you before we give the floor to Mr. Fundu. When we talk about the activities of these separatist fighters along or in the two English regions, and precisely on this stretch of road we are talking about, Bamenda Babaju Road, we cannot deny the fact that they were implicated in the act of digging the road. We remember there was a road construction machine that was set ablaze on this stretch of road. It is not only the Bamenda Babaju Road. Along the ring route, like you cited, there are instances, there are localities where the very amber boys have cut, the road to block, like they say, block the military.
To protect military
from moving directly into the region. Is that not degrading a bad state of the road? Worsening the bad situation of a road, that we already have in these two regions?
Of course, it is degrading the bad state of the road. It is making a bad matter
worse. Yes.
But then, when someone, we don't know amber.
Of course.
I am holding my government
responsible. Yes.
I don't know anything called amber.
Of course, amber is illegal.
It's not even illegal. It is even something that we say it. And I want to tell you that one mistake that many people make is the fact that they spend their time, instead of holding those who should be accountable to them, they are holding amber. Amber does not exist. If amber was existing, when I'm going to Norway, I use my ID card with green, red, yellow.
Of course, you're a Cameroonian.
So, most of these boys, remember, some of them are very educated. And like I said, they are the product of the poor governance of this country. They are product of a regime that is trying to move the country by people who cannot move. Because those who are in the regime cannot move, but they are trying to move Cameroon. And that is where the problem really lies. Because youth, our president will tell us that we are in an Android generation. In the same time, those youths that were supposed to be given post of responsibility in the government to be learning from the older ones who are already there, so that when the older ones are getting tired and retired, they replace them effectively. They have not been doing it. And you see, this thing you are talking here, we really thank you for this topic. You will discover that if you go to the National Assembly, the president, if you go to the Senate, the president, they are all too old that they cannot think about these topics we are talking about. You recently saw how in this country ministers boarded aircraft, foreign aircraft in their country to another part of their country.
Yes.
In the up north. And you know that when we are talking about Babaju, it is so precise because it links two major cities together. But the common ground, there's a link, there's a bearing between the suffering of the people of Babaju and other regions of this country, because road network in this country is a terrible problem.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, we'll take from that angle. Road network in this country is a terrible issue that everybody is suffering. Mr. Fundu, when Mr. Ndiwum was speaking, he indicated that the ambas are a product of poor governance that we have in this country. And we are indicating that some of their activities we feel in the that we have on ground is they destroy the road network. Is that road for those who are governing the country, or that road is for them, Ambas, Cameroonians in general?
The road is for us Cameroonians.
Yes.
But the only thing I would say is that
who suffers? Is it
all of us we are suffering, even the Amba themselves, they are suffering.
Mm-hmm.
But what I would like to comment is that we should not learn to allow situation to go out of hand.
And that's why we consider this. We are asking if it is a fruit of negligence.
To put things together.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, rebels are people who they are difficult to control, even the people who create them.
Mm-hmm.
You can create a group of rebels who become they will become your enemies at the end. So any activity that the Amba is taking is just because of the result that Amba is. They are already they feed. They are already their own activities on the feed. They may give their reasons, like trying to put obstacles that will give access to the military to meet them in their camps. But I would not like to go deeply into their reasons why they are destroying roads. But everything, what we know is that roads are being destroyed, and all of us, we are suffering. And any atrocity that has taken place, it is money being wasted.
Of course.
And I want to come back on the main topic,
yes,
whether it's negligence.
Really,
that one, it makes me to reason it in another way. I want to make understand that when freedom of speech started coming back to Cameroon, you see many media houses coming before the freedom of speech. The lone media that were listening in this country was all the State National.
The State National Radio.
The only opportunity that Anglophones could use to make the government know that things are not moving well was only the state media, a program like Morning Safari and the
Cameroon Calling.
Cameroon Calling, yes, like that. I'm bringing this one to make us understand that between decades, people from the Northwest have been calling the government, saying that we are living a deplorable situation here. But the government behave as if they don't understand the language we are speaking. But the worst of all is that you will see that those who are ahead, that we count on them, like our elites, MP and those elites who are appointed into posts of responsibility, who are supposed to be talking on our behalf. Some of them, they choose to like now, like this, you will commonly hear people who say, I thank the head of state. That's the word they have chosen to respond to complaints that we have been given from behind. So that's why I'm saying that when I look at this negligence, I'm looking at it at large. There is something wrong. I have a feeling that the Cameroon government sometimes was feeling like if investing in our zone is like investing in a foreign country, because there is an information that I just got now that is one of those things that makes me angry. It is going to be stupid when you sew a suit that costs 50,000, and then in your house you don't have a bed, you are sleeping on the floor. What am I saying? Because I heard there's already information talking about a new the international airport that has to be constructed
in Kribi.
In Kribi,
yes.
After the Kribi seaport. Do you see that thing? Is it very necessary when we are unable to circulate inside our own country? That's why I'm saying that it is sometimes it is necessary for us. But I'm saying that we have to be at least we have to take things and weigh the importance of it. So it is necessary to carry projects like that. Why people are crying in the background? Yes,
Mr. Ndu, Mr. Fundu, at the beginning of this week, the newspapers indicated to us that a new contractor has been, selected to continue with the rehabilitation of this stretch of road. and like I indicated, it's 52 kilometers. And we would indicate that last year, the government indicated that it is because of the climatic conditions that work could not progress. The dry season came and passed. We are into the rainy season. Remember the last rains that we had on the 24th of March aggravated the situation that the road practically cuts into two. And the question we are asking here is it that the company that took the contract, is it above the government to control them? We have not heard anything like bringing them to book, bringing them accountable for their not being able to execute the contract. What is happening with the government? Is it a problem of lack of, ability, lack of competence to control them?
We pray that we have a change of regime in Cameroon. Because when we are talking now like this, I don't see us having the competence to change the mentality of the people who are governing Cameroon. Because people who are even more than us have spoken and nothing has changed. What you are saying like that, it resembles what is happening on the Olembe Stadium, which a budget was already voted for that stadium. It's like that budget is nowhere to be found now. And you see the president going as far as borrowing money again for the stadium.
But the president cannot do everything.
No, but the problem is that he is the president. The problem is, before you see him going to borrow money again, means that the other money has been squandered. But he has maybe he's working. He knows the people he is working with them.
You know the operations. Part of work is still continuing.
Mr. Financial, what is disturbing me is that when you want to hear a budget that is supposed to tie a road like the one we are talking about, 52
kilometers,
is much money. If you, as compared to other situations that we have witnessed, if you see the government going into contact with another contractor, I would like to tell you that it means that the first budget is nowhere to be found. But you will find people suffering in the country.
But that's not the information that the papers are giving us. The problem is the Ministry of Public Works decided, because they discovered that there were so many things lacking from that company, they decided to change the contractor.
Change the contractor.
And in a contract, they don't pay the money completely. Maybe they may give you a fraction of the money and of the total budget, and then as you are progressing with the contract, the money is...
But in a way, that's a very good decision. Because normally, if that contract was already handed to somebody, from the time we were supposed to... The work was supposed to be going on now. Had it been the problem was insecurity, as they used to say, they could have called...
That is one of the factors.
For security, concentration of security on that stretch of road for the work to take place. Before Boko Haram started, the Chinese were tiling a road in the north.
Yes.
That Chinese nationalists, citizens, were even kidnapped.
Yes.
I think that contract was stopped. But after... They had
resumed.
It resumed because they had to concentrate security there. And I would like also to understand that even when this football competition was taking place in Cameroon, football matches have taken place in Limbe because the government made everything possible for security to be available so that the matches would take place. Why can they not do the same thing with what is even important to us more than the football matches that took place? So it is negligence. As we started the program, all this thing is negligence, and there is no in Cameroon. There's this phenomenon of when we already know ourselves. There is this understanding. Because if you see people who mishandle government projects and they are not followed up, it is because the person that was supposed to follow him up, maybe they know themselves in the party or somewhere. That's where we face problems in Cameroon.
Okay, Mr. Fundu, we'll come back to you. But let's take question 2 with Mr. Ndiwum. This, like he's saying, the crisis in the region might have, interrupted the progress of work on that stretch of road. But the situation of that road itself, how does it impact? How does it have any link with the ongoing crisis in these two regions? Do you think that there is a link?
No, there is no link. I'll be emphatic.
I mean, how does it have an impact on that crisis? How does it impact the crisis?
Yes, if it is an impact, a very big yes. Like I said, we have a government that has learned how to pamper the causes and fight the consequences, which is terrible. It's regrettable. You see, the impact is very big. Let me just give you a little example. I supply foodstuffs in Douala. In the absence of that road, all my things are stopped.
Your business is collapsed. Yes.
This is a practical example I'm giving you. Our viewers will testify. I am just one example. And you know the thousands of people that live from west to northwest for the same business. So the impact, we can evaluate the impact on economic, social, and even political. You see, somebody has a meeting in Bamenda. He's unable to arrive in Bamenda because Babaju is not passable. Somebody has a contract rendezvous in Douala. He has to leave Bamenda, and there's no flight from Bamenda to Douala. He has to be spellbound because there's no way to move across Babaju, which has been divided into two. But the question I keep asking is, where did we go wrong? And again, this government has chosen mispriority to priority, because this government does not seem to have a link, a direct bearing with the suffering of the masses on the field. Like he said a while ago, when you don't set your priorities well, everything that you do, you can always succeed by chance. Elementary economics teaches us that there is what we call scale of preference. Even for the primary school child, before going to bed, he knows that at 5 o'clock I have to go and tie my goats. For those who come from the village like me, because I'm a village man. After that, I fetch water. Thereafter, I have my bath, I take my uniform. That's what we call scale of preference. But this government does not have a scale of preference.
But if you look at from what I indicated, that the Ministry of Public Works had decided to change the contract, or cancel the contract they had with the former contractor and take a new contractor who is tasked with rehabilitating this road. Is it not a priority?
And I'm very sorry to tell you that it's not a priority. How do you tell me there's a priority? Changing a contractor now determines it deserves time and resources to be reclassified. Changing a contractor without giving an account to those who are concerned is an insult to them. I even expected the minister to have come out openly on his knees and beg for an apology and apologize to the people. But what I got was, my regime is a regime of arrogance. What he came out and say, when rain falls, you should make 2 hours. No, what is damn.
Yes. But we must not underestimate the climatic. We must not underestimate the climatic condition of this region.
Sir, I will cut you. When you tell me that the climatic condition of this region, I say no. We are dealing with a government that cannot work. They cannot move, so they cannot make things to move. Come back to Douala. I said wrong Puleng, Makepe, right to Lokpom. That route was the tar there was taken off in December. Till date, as I'm talking to you, the Benskins, the drivers have introduced new routes. Are you also telling me that? And this one here is not even up to how many kilometers? You are talking about 50 kilometers.
Yes.
This one here is not even up to 10 kilometers. Yes.
Okay, but we are in the we are in the COVID-19 period, and this period is it is distracting, interrupting the progress of most in most sectors. Can we not tie the slow pace of that rehabilitation road in Bamenda Babaju to the COVID-19 pandemic, Mr. Fonju?
Is it I don't see anything that concerns COVID-19 to a project that is supposed to take place because it's not a market, it's not a church, it's not a school that people are going to gather together and maybe begin to exchange. This is something that you yourself, you have been seeing where people are walking on the road. It has nothing to do. But I would like to.
But from your own point of view, you think that it has an impact on the crisis in this region?
It has an impact. I will start it from my own self. When I have to travel to the village now, Whenever I arrive in Bamenda town, in the past I used to pay just around 1,200 francs. I'm already right in our compound in the village. But now, to live from Bamenda town to the village, I pay 4,000 one way. Which means that from Bamenda to the village,
it's already more than twice.
It's 8,000. Some people, if I have to talk in other divisions that are very far, in their own situation is not the one.
5,000.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, and then you notice that the prices of commodities in the village, the prices have rise. You see insecurity. Even some of us, you cannot go to the village and move freely in the way like you are in your own village. Okay, now. The cost of this road added to other problems that the Anglophone community have been requesting. It has created a new mentality. You see, this situation has created a mentality that people do not want to listen to the government anymore. Which means that people do not value the solutions given by the government, those things that we are complaining. You see the government maybe trying to bring up some solution, but people don't look at them anymore as something that will stop them from suffering. Because of the length of time the government have been giving deaf ears
to the situation.
To the situation. I'm talking like now, when you see the government tried to create something like in the Supreme Court and in NAM, all those things like that. Even what they were calling the major national dialogue.
Yes. Even
some of those things were good decisions, but you will notice that it becomes difficult for people to believe in the government anymore because of what they have gone through.
People no longer have trust.
Yeah, they don't more have trust. That is one of the impact that is going to take a long time for people to trust our government. Even a new regime has to take a long time to preach to the people to understand that they are there to serve them.
Okay, our time is up. Mr. Fundo, I remain with you. Just in 5 seconds, what should be the way forward? What would the government have done to redress the situation? In 5 seconds to you.
The situation on the road, on the crisis, or the crisis?
On the road project between Bamenda Babaju.
On the road, they have to engage. They already signed. They saw that they brought another contract. We want to see the work going on, but side by side, they have to engage even in the dialogue with the separatist camp, so that they should not be like obstacle to the contract.
Mr. Ndium, we are rounding up. The way forward, what should be? Should we die in this situation?
No.
Yes.
Whether we live or we die,
yes,
situations continue.
Yes.
So what I think the government has have overstayed their lift in power. I'm not saying that changing in power today will automatically make
solve the situation in Cameroon.
No, Babaju Bamenda retire.
Yes.
But I'm saying it with a lot of authority as a citizen of this part of the country, that we need that route and we need accountability, and time frame should be accorded to these people.
Thank you so much.
Must be respected.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. We need that road. It is a road to link 2 major cities in Cameroon, Bamenda and Bafoussam. This is where we call it a day in today's edition of the program. Let us continue the discussion on our Facebook page. Right after this would be the news in the English language with Cynthia Ngwemo. Until we meet again tomorrow, goodbye and good night.
Coronavirus is not an imagination or an invention. It is a real threat that spares no one. We are already counting so many casualties the world over. The situation is serious and we